Hello, hello. My name is Domitia Marie, aka Didi, and I have a lot of hobbies. The hobby of today is painting. You're gonna watch me make a painting for my father's birthday that's coming up. So let's hop into it. This video is gonna have a lot of talking. It's gonna have a lot of talking because I feel like I need to explain myself in what's going down. You're gonna see my face and different things that I'm doing. You're gonna see. You're gonna see. I have to explain myself and what's going down here. So first things first, I did realize when I started this painting that the camera angle versus it not being on an actual easel was going to make it hard for the camera to really capture what I was doing. So I had to fix that immediately, as you can see here. The painting I am recreating is something that I did in 2023 when my late grandfather passed away. That was the father of my father. So I wanted to make a version of that for my dad for his, he has a milestone birthday coming up. Don't want to give too much of his info out. Also, I don't think he watches my YouTube videos. He knows I have YouTube, but I don't think he watches my YouTube videos. So this is gonna go out before his birthday, but I'm pretty sure he's not really gonna see this. Anywho, moving forward. The point is, this is a bonsai tree painting. And the reason that I'm painting it, starting with these different colors, blue, pink, and purple, these are from I'm thinking of the ancestral realm from the Black Panther, the very first one. So thinking of the ancestral realm and how beautiful those colors were in the sky, and the fact that the bonsai tree is kind of considered to be an ancestral tree. I wanted to kind of recreate something to give my father as well, in a way to kind of like honor him in who he is, as a father, as a son, as a relative and a person who does his very best every day, as a husband as well. So I wanted to give him something to also honor him in such a big milestone birthday. And yeah, I put a lot of work into this. You'll see this is a very, very, very long video, but I am not afraid of putting the work in. Painting makes me happy. Doing art in general makes me happy. So, doing something that is tangible for my dad, for a gift, like a really thoughtful gift that you put in a lot of work, a lot of time, and I was very happy making this, and I feel so content and so like kind of complete when I did this, because I feel like even though it started off kind of rough and I was having issues in between, you'll see down the line, you'll see soon enough, when I start blending. But I am really proud of this. So let me go ahead and let you just see what I'm doing, and then yeah. Just to give a little background on the actual paint that I'm using, this is acrylic paint, but it's kind of the acrylic paint that dries really fast. So it's not as like malleable as the usual acrylic paint or the paint that I used when I was in college. So I am doing a lot of layers, a lot of layers in the way that I'm trying to make this, seem as pretty as possible and as full as possible. It's really hard to work with this painting in my experience, but also I have not been like actually painting like this intentionally since I was like 21 years old. So that's been 8 years, almost 9 years. So here I am. Doing my very best, and then this blending situation comes up where I'm trying to blend the colors, but again, I have not blended colors properly since I've been in college, so it didn't really turn out the way that I thought it would. So I did my best. I did my very best, and honestly, I still think it's cute, and I still think it works with what I'm trying to put together. So yeah, yeah, that's where we are. So here's me trying to blend. I don't know if you noticed the grimace on my face, but I wasn't liking the way that it turned out, so I was like definitely trying to work with it as best as I possibly could. But it was giving me bare minimum. It was giving a harsh line of demarcation. It was definitely giving me so much trouble, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna work this. I'm gonna work it, and I realized that I wasn't working it the way that I thought I was gonna work it, but I kept going because I'm crazy. So even when something doesn't turn out the way that I thought it would turn out, I'm still gonna go for it because this is something that I wanted to do. So yeah, even though you know the blending wasn't blending as it should have been blending, I still kept going because that's just who I am as a person. So yeah. Also, after I did the initial blending, I tried to like go back in and do some more blending to help kind of tame that hard line of demarcation you can see. But you know what? This is my very first intentional painting, so I know down the line I'll definitely get better. So yeah, just watch out on my channel for the progress of that. Yeah, you'll see me get better over time. You'll see me get better over time. I promise. So here we are moving into the day two of painting. I wanted the painting to kind of sit overnight before I started my next layer, which is the tree on top of the sky painting in the back. So that's where we're at. You're gonna see me like change like my clothes because this was in a span of like 3 or 4 days that I did this entire painting. And so yeah, this is like my kind of like foreground layer a little bit. You'll see what I'm talking about. And after all of that, I finally get into the tree. The tree, is simple. It's just gonna be, brown mostly. And then I just start with my very first layer, since this is acrylic painting and layers are great to have for this kind of painting. I just start with my very first layer just to like put it down and have something underneath, and then I'm gonna build on top of that. Now we got the trees started, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. But getting the tree started first, and just like the shape of the tree, and then like the initial shading for the very first layer, and then going in with the green to start the shape of the actual like leaves for the bonsai tree, and then we're gonna build on top of that. You'll see what I mean here in just a second. The very first layer of the brown of the tree is done. And so now we're going to start on the layer of the leaves on top. And it's going to kind of be the same, just the simple green, just to get that first layer down there so I can build on top of it and give it a little bit of dimension. It's not going to have too much dimension because I don't really have too much experience with that as of late. So it is something that I will continue to work on later on. for a lot of these like different layers, there is some time allocated in between so they can dry. And because this is fast drying acrylic paint, it really did me a service to kind of get this done within the span of a couple days versus where it could take upwards of a couple of weeks. So that was really helpful to me, even though it was pros and cons to that. Cons to that being that it dried too fast. I couldn't work with it the way that I like wanted to experiment with it, but I can, work through that and experiment later on with that. So that's my plan for in the future, doing kind of paintings like this, and then even bigger paintings, and maybe even multimedia pieces. I can play with that in the future. Here I am. I'm gonna add another layer of green, and then also adding in some more brown on the tree trunk so the tree trunk looks, just a bit bigger and stronger. Because you can see like the pink from the background is like peeking through, and I did not like that at all. So just yeah, you can see adding another layer here. On top of adding another layer, I also wanted to add a little bit of dimension here on the tree trunk. And in an effort to do that, I mixed in brown with like a tad of black. And then I added that to the tree trunk because in my initial painting, there were like some lines to kind of show you how the tree did a curve. You'll see when I show you at the end of this video, my inspiration painting, that there was like a certain curve of the tree that I wanted to kind of bring out a little bit, even though this still looks a bit flat. I did want to bring out a certain curve of the tree, so that's why I'm putting like the darker brown in there as well. And then to me, it looks like it did transfer successfully, but you let me know what you think. Right here, I am adding a lighter green also to give it a little bit of dimension and then also show that there's kind of like a light beaming down on the tree. So you'll see as I go through it again, but I'm starting with like one layer of like the lighter green and then I'm kind of going to build on top of that to, give it a little bit of dimension. And also I kind of want to like show, because it's supposed to be an ancestral tree. Um, each kind of branch kind of represents like a generation kind of thing. So, yeah, that's that's where my mind was at when I was doing this. I was like, I really want to build on top of this and kind of show a little bit of dimension and then a couple little layers so that, it looks interesting to the eye when you see it. So that was the intent. Okay, and then the final finishing touches, in my opinion, the final finishing touches is to kind of like add this extra light green on top to kind of like specifically show kind of like the generations on the tree, and also kind of represent a light beaming down as if like, you know, you're being smiled upon from above, from the heavens. So that was also the intent. So yeah, if you like what I have going on here, just let me know in the comments. First things first, if you stayed to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you showing love to my YouTube videos and hearing me ramble and talk so much about the different forms of art that I do. I really appreciate that. And if you like this video, please like this video, comment, share so I can get some more visibility on the channel and grow. And thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and show a clip of the inspiration for this painting. And, yeah. So here we are. We have the finished result of this painting that I worked a couple days on. Um, it's done. It's here. I love it. I love that I put so much work into this. And then you'll see the inspiration. This big canvas painting that I did in honor of my late grandfather from 2023 when he transitioned. So thank you so much for watching this video and showing love to the channel. Let me know if you really like this painting. Let me know if I should paint more like this or paint something else. Thank you so much for the love. Shout out to you, and I hope you have a good day.